Hey to the most amazing nurses. It is Dr. V here with Morning Infusion with Dr. V podcast, where we are intentional about teaching nurses how to work from anywhere around the world, making money and owning your own time, building profitable nurse coaching and consulting businesses. You will hear from amazing guests that have grown their companies and want to share insight into how you can do the same to change the face of healthcare as we know it. If you want to grow your businesses and leverage your knowledge as a nurse to grow wildly successful businesses at the top, instead of working your way to the top, head on over and join our Millionaire Nurse CEO group on Facebook, where you can ask questions and get updates on our live and virtual events to help you grow your businesses. So good morning, everyone. So we have Miss Pamela Thomas here with us today. But before we get into our dialogue, I would like to ask that you like, share, comment. If you're on not Facebook, of course, you can leave a comment. If you're on YouTube, I ask that you subscribe to the channel so that you can get the notifications, hit the notification button so that you can hear us every time we come up. Also, I ask that you, on Spotify and Apple, I ask that you download, leave us a review. We want to know how we're doing. We want to spread the message of health and wellness. And of course, typically we're talking to nurses, but today we're not talking to a nurse, but she is amazing. Okay, so it doesn't matter. I want to introduce to everyone Miss Pamela Thomas. So Miss Pamela, tell us who you are in your own words.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. V, for hosting me here. I'm so excited to be with you and your community. You are holding this big vision for your community of people, and I just love to see people, that are able to hold that kind of space and share with folks like you. So I appreciate you. So I'm Pam Thomas, and I am a catalyst and a restorative wellness educator and practitioner. So I kind of have had the opportunity to spend time with folks, helping them find the way to get to their purpose and passion by getting the things that are blocking them out of the way, including chronic pain. So the big thing we were going to talk about today, I'm hoping, is chronic pain and how to get and stay out of it. But, we have a lot of things in our nervous system and in our bodies that block us from being the best that we can be. And so what I do is work with folks and really move those things out of the way and help them get the fuel to create the life they want to live.
Yeah, I love that. Because one of the things that I do know, if you don't feel good, then you won't move forward and you won't do the things. Health is wealth. And
That's
people
exactly
don't really understand that. It's like, well, I'm going to get this pill. The pills do not typically cure you of anything.
That's right.
It's kind of like a Band-Aid put on it. And so it's really, really important that you live a healthy life. And so I'm incredibly thankful for your work. So, and I know the nurses are, because, they need as much help on the outside as they can have so that patients don't end up at their doorstep, all the time. Because at the end of the day, we have enough patients that are really, really sick, and we want to ensure that they're
that's right.
Or well. And this is an important conversation because I don't think people really understand how important it is, right?
Yeah.
Until you get to that point. And so you said that what age were you whenever you started?
Oh, yes. We had this conversation. Well, in my 30s and 40s. So let me just explain. I was the girl who did everything. I did gymnastics. I did ballet. I played baseball with the boys. I was actually pretty good at it too. And let me just say that I was very active. And so I had plenty of injuries to go along with that. And so 30s rolled up on me, mid 30s rolled up on me. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, wait a minute. The pains came. And I'm like, oh, whose body is this? Wow. And, it just rolls up on you. I mean, you must know, I don't know. I'm not going to judge. Yeah. All of us go through something once you pass a certain age. but it just rolls up, it creeps up on you. And all of a sudden, I was like, wait a minute, whose body is this? And can I return it? Because girl, it's too, the perimenopause was a whole situation. And so I had at one point 10 symptoms, all subclinical though. And
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What do you mean by subclinical? So
I
first of
mean
all,
that,
before you say that, I want to
yeah,
tell you. You talk about. I want to say I was about 28, right? And I went roller skating, and I fell probably about 3 or 4 times, right? And I
yeah.
was like, before then, I used to fall all the time. It was okay. I was home. I was like, why am I hurting like this? What is going
What
on?
is happening? That's right. That's what it is. I mean, you really don't even recognize yourself in your body. And it's not just pain, all the things. I had 10 subclinical symptoms, but I didn't feel like myself. I couldn't sleep. I had rashes, like everything. I was allergic to everything. I can't even remember all of them. 10 different symptoms. And I went to my doctor, and she's amazing person, but I don't know now. For me, I turned 60 this year, so that was like 20 years ago. I don't A little over 20 years, and I don't know if perimenopause was as well understood then as it is now, honestly. But she was like, okay, so I need you to go to see the endocrinologist, the cardiologist. I mean, I was having heart palpitation, everything you can think of. And she wanted me to go see 10 specialists. And I was like, okay. I went to see the sleep specialist. And when they told me what they wanted me to do, I was like, oh, no, no, no. We're going to have to try something else first. Because if that was the first thing, it was like a whole thing. I had to sleep somewhere other than it's a whole thing. And so I was like, okay, so my dad was one of the founding members of the American Holistic Medical Association way back in the day. And so while he was a doctor, he also knew that there was a broader range of approaches to health. And so I was like, okay, so I got to try something else. And I cooked my parents' Easter dinner on a Sunday. And Monday, I was like, cold turkey, I went raw vegan, which is not what I recommend at all. But nevertheless, let me just say, don't
Now, why
under
did you recommend that? What happened?
well, it's kind of insanely harsh. It's kind of a big leap. Cold turkey is probably normally not the ideal way to start things, but I'm an explorer. But let me just say that within 2 weeks, 7 of my 10 symptoms had disappeared. So the reason I bring that up is because don't underestimate the power of small lifestyle changes. That wasn't a small one, but if I had done something even less, that's very big leap. But within 2 weeks, 7 of the 10 symptoms kind of went away, even the skin rashes. So I was like, okay, so it's worth trying to make some lifestyle changes. And it's been a 20-year journey that I'm still on to really take care of your body in the way that it needs to. And you said it, your health is your wealth.
It's important. I love that. One of the things that I do know, and this is one of the things that I pointed out over the years as it relates to healthcare, is that number one is that it's not really a big subject matter, nutrition. So I went to 4 different schools to get all these degrees.
Yeah.
And with each school, I've had one nutrition class the entire time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what my father said too about his medical training.
One. And
Yeah.
the reality is that you need way more than that in order to be able to do it. And previously we had Dr. Bridget here, and one of the things that she talked about was, so she was having problems with a bunch of headaches, and so she went into the hospital. When she got there, she had a spinal infusion done, not infusion, but they tapped her spine
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
to get spine fluid. And so she ended up like, it was like so much spinal fluid that came out. And normally it drips out. Okay. And so the doctor did that, probably a spinal tap is what she had done. So over a week, she said she had it done every day. And each time she had lots and lots of spinal fluid come out. And so the physician said, I'm going to have to send you home. I'm going to have to send you home on hospice. So she went home on hospice, and she went home and she had a nurse the hospice nurse tried to come in. She wouldn't let the hospice nurse come in. She said, "No, I will live and not die." And so she went on the fast, and she fasted for 21 days. And
Wow.
then the last, and it was just water. And then that last, and they advised against that, but she was like, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die anyway, right? So
That's right.
why should I care? And so then the last 7 days, all she did was cold pressed juices, and now she is speaking on stages all over the country. But that is what the power of food can do for you. I mean, previously she had all these autoimmune diseases, right?
Yes.
So it's important. So I love that. So tell me a little bit more. So you went cold turkey and you did raw vegan. How long were you raw vegan?
Well, let me be honest. This is why I don't recommend it, because for those of us that are not in a warm climate, it is hard to do, particularly in the winter. It's hard to do long term too, because you have to be really meticulous about monitoring certain things. If you are not having, and I'm not saying that you have to have a ton of meat, but if you don't have flesh-based proteins, it's a whole, there's a lot of work you have to do to manage. And our culturally, we're not set up
For that.
to have all that information readily available. So that's why I don't really recommend it. But it's very effective for a short-term thing. I'm not recommending it for other people, but if you know within you that that's something you should try, you can try it and you can always stop it. You're in control, right? But
Right.
so was raw vegan for about 18 months. And what I noticed is that my body told me. So this is my whole thing. Our body talks to us all the time, and we almost never listen.
Come on.
The wisdom of our body. So that's what we're doing in our Restore platform, is trying to get people to reconnect to the wisdom of their body. My body told me before I stopped being raw vegan that it wasn't quite right, because I started not feeling right again. It's like, I was getting more hungry, because by the way, when I switched um, I literally cooked poultry for Easter and then went cold turkey raw vegan, just all raw foods and juices and stuff. So I thought I'd be hungry, wasn't hungry, but then I started feeling hungry and I started getting cravings for meat and all of these things my body was telling me, but I was like, oh no, raw vegan's best. But then I figured out my energy started dropping and things. So your body talks to you all the time. So this 20-year journey that I've been on has been about still reconnecting to my body. And, I realize now, with the wisdom of hindsight, that I spent a whole lot, like half of my life at this point, totally disconnected. Even though I was active in things, I wasn't actually paying attention to my body, because we think we're a mind dragging that body around. And the body, by the way, our mind tells us our body's in the way of all the things we want to do. So we're fighting our body, right? You know how you want to stay up a few more hours to work. You
Facts. You know what? You're right.
I know that, but I'm 60 now, so I had a little time to think about it. It took that long to get there, but I understand it now.
So when your mind says you need to stay up, you need to listen to your body and go to sleep.
My recommendation at 60, I know that it's taken me a long time, though. Let me be clear.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So now we're gonna talk about what you after the raw vegan, and like what you like, the services that you offer now. Okay.
Yeah. If I can, I'll just continue a little bit further into the journey, because it ties into the services. So
Okay.
after the raw vegan thing, I got settled into a place. The pains were subsiding, but not gone, because we also have to move. Diet's amazing, but we also have to move. And so I've always been active, and I've never, I don't go months without exercise. I mean, I move. That's what I've done all my whole life. And so, but what I discovered in about the last 7 years, and it's not that I discovered it for me, but what I discovered are these, they're actually not new techniques, but they're not well known. And I call it restorative movement. And a lot of people have heard of restorative yoga, which is a form, but there's lots of other ones. But all of these restorative styles of movement focus on cooperating and responding to the rhythms of your body rather than fighting the body. Most of the exercise we do, you're trying to go harder, stronger, faster, longer. You're fighting your body. You're fighting against your body. Now you need some of that. And I know all y'all who are healthcare professionals know your body does need to push against the edge of its abilities. And that's part of what we need. But the other part of what we need is this restorative style of practice that's gentle. So I call it the 5 S's. It's shorter, smaller, softer. I have them out of order. That's okay. Smaller, softer, smoother, and well, okay, I can't remember the 5th one. That's okay. But it does anyhow. The point is that all of these things are contrary to what we're mostly taught about fitness. But this is an important part of fitness. And in particular, if you're in chronic pain, harder, faster, stronger, longer, all that stuff does not work. You cannot get out of chronic pain pushing through it. You have to actually take completely the opposite approach and respond to the rhythms of your body. Listen to what the body's telling you. You can almost, the mind is a really powerful tool, and our mind and body are intimately connected. And you can get benefits out of restorative movement just by in your mind thinking you're moving the body, but you do need to move. And so, we have techniques and tools and that we want to share. So I work with a physical therapist and an athletic therapist, and we launched a platform called Restore. Mm-hmm. That is really designed to be an accessible way for a broader section of the population. All of us have had our own practices, but we want to do something for people who can't get to us, and also some of the styles of movement that I'm talking about that will really help you get out of pain most practitioners charge a lot of money. So, and if you go to their office, it's, your hours there, hour 2 there to get there and back and all of the things. And it's a few $100s. We want to get people access to these tools on a platform that's affordable and accessible.
I love it. I love it. So we're going to talk about that as soon as we come back from commercial break. Okay. Our live event is going down twice a year in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, called the Millionaire Nurse CEO Conference. We will be covering the blueprint and master plan to grow a wealthy and flourishing company. We love that you listen to the podcast, but we want you in the room. We will be sharing insights on marketing and sales strategies so that you are able to create more impact and make more money, creating more freedom so that you can do the things that you love. So join us for the nursing event of the century. Go to vpnursing.com to sign up for this life-changing event. All right, we're back. So tell us about this platform that you have.
Yeah, so it's an educational platform, and probably what's maybe the most unusual thing is that what we're really trying to do is equip you, our clients, with the tools to manage your own pain. We really have seen amazing things happen. I can think of one particular woman who, the first time I saw her in one of my classes, she walked in and pain was written all over her. I literally, I was like, oh, wow, she's in a lot of pain. And she came to me when I was relatively new at the practices that I'm teaching now and have more familiarity with. And I was like, oh, I hope I can really help her. And anyhow, you know how when you're in that much pain, you literally it drains your energy and all of those things. So you can just see it on people. And she walked in and I said, oh, wow. Anyhow, we did the hour-long experience, and at the end, her face had it had lifted off of her in a way that it was profound. And so she walked up to me at the end of the class and she said, you don't know, I've been in so much pain, because she had neck and shoulder pain. And actually what I thought to myself when she came in, I said, wow, she looks like she's got the weight of the world on her shoulders. That's what she looked like. And sure enough, guess what she told me? She told me that she lifted 50-pound boxes over her head for her job.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, because she was, she was locked up here. And it was so gentle. And I mean, she's still in touch with me because she's like, now I've gotten a promotion. all of these, my big thing is once you find ease in your body, it will ripple into the whole rest of your life. So don't ignore your body, attend to it. Because anyhow, the platform is, um, we have a few different options for folks, different ways that you can interact with us, but it's really an opportunity for you to have access to multiple practitioners who work together to try to come up with a kind of customized solution. Because one of the things about pain is that there's no one size fits all. Everybody needs different things in order to really manage their situation, which is why at the end of the day, we want you to be able to have the tools to work with at home. And all of this you can do in the comfort of your home. And not only that, these techniques are not only about your body, they actually help you manage stress and all sorts of other things. Your overall wellness needs restorative types of techniques. Your body needs a stress and it needs relaxation, and nothing in your body functions well if it doesn't have both.
So what are some of the techniques? So give me just one example of a technique.
Well, I think what's less important about the name isn't the names of the techniques are not important. But, one of the things that's a big particular function that we manage to teach people is that, so I'm going to just show you here. You raise your arm up. Now learn how to relax while you move. It's a big deal. People, most of the time when we move, instead of relaxing to move, we're tensing up. We start with tension. And yes, you have to contract certain muscles, but the body actually is designed to have balance in it. The muscles are designed to be balanced. So you want to contract one muscle. There are other muscles that need to relax for optimal functioning.
Gotcha.
But what we do is we think we have to move our shoulder. So then all of a sudden we start tightening up the back and we tighten up the neck to move our shoulder. All of this extra stress that you add to the body unbalances the body. So the big thing that we do with these styles of techniques is get you to relax, rebalance the body through relaxation and really paying attention to what muscles do I actually need to move? And you would be surprised. It's not that you have to, in your mind, go through a whole set of iterations. If you just start with relaxation and move slowly. So you notice I'm going really slow to lift my arm. Notice I didn't lift into my ear. When you start going fast, you do things like that. When you move slowly. So all of the slow, gentle styles of movement. Yoga is a good example of a restorative style, but it's one. And there's lots of other ones. And when you combine them, it's extremely powerful because people need specialized routines. And by the way, life is full of seasons. In one season, I need, for example, in one season, I needed raw foods. And then the season ended and I needed something else. That's how the body is. That's how life is. And so over time, you'll need different routines too. But we're just excited to be able to provide an accessible and affordable platform for folks to join us and learn about their bodies and get out of pain, for goodness sakes.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, first of all, we're gonna ask where we can find you at. Okay. So
Yeah. So let me just say that Linktree is my friend. We keep that updated so that you can always figure out what the newest thing is. So linktree.com, and y'all know it's 2 dots in linktree.com, not one. So just make sure you check Linktree. Linktree.com/restorative movement. You can also find, we actually have a.
So let me ask you, do you have a link tree that they can go to? Like, do you have it on your platforms?
I have a link tree. It's like a mini website, so that everything that's happening is Linktree. Yeah, and it takes you directly to our platform. Absolutely.
Okay. Because normally, because like I have a link tree on my Instagram. So like, whenever they come to my Instagram, they can click on my link tree and then it takes them to wherever they need to be.
Yeah.
You have it on the social media platforms like that?
Yes, absolutely. So social media, we're restorative.movement on Instagram and on YouTube.
Okay.
And it's Oh, I can't. I have to change the Facebook one because Facebook doesn't work. So I have to apologize. I messed that up because I don't remember Facebook. But you can find us at the other two platforms,
Okay.
and all of it's on the link tree.
Okay. Cool. 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 All right. So I'm gonna ask you some rapid fire questions. All right.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
So what do you think is a common misconception about nursing?
Ooh, about nursing.
Hmm.
I think that people do not understand how much you all take on. I know, look, I think back to my dad's practice, and I worked in my dad's practice, and I remember those amazing nurses that, by the way, they ran his practice. He just did the doctoring
Hmm.
because they were the ones who were really connected to the patients. Now, let me say, my dad was beloved. His patients loved him, but he was not the key point for these people. He wasn't. He's excellent. He was really good, but he wasn't. Those women in his office, they were just all of them were just like amazing people who they give so much. And the skills are not always appreciated. Y'all need to treat your nurses better. I'm just telling you. And yeah, well, I worked in my dad's office, and I know when people are in pain, they can say some stuff and act some ways. Yes, I'm just saying.
Cussing us out like
Yes.
listen, we here to help you. Why are you cussing us out?
Yeah, and
Let you-
they look, these people are dedicated. They spend a lot of time getting training, and they attend to things that not everybody in your healthcare experience will attend to. They attend to your emotional and spiritual well-being in ways that y'all need to appreciate deeply. That's what I have to say about it.
So I have to tell you this story because it's relevant at this point. So this she was a kid. I mean, she's 16 years old. She came in with SVT, right? It's supraventricular tachycardia.
Yeah,
For those of you who don't know what it is, it's a
that's
really
amazing.
fast heartbeat. If you don't slow it down, then they will die. Okay,
Yeah.
they will
Yep.
get unstable and they will die. So she came in there with SVT. We had on a monitor, and apparently the nurse who was taking care of her could not start her IV. So they came to ask me to start the IV. And I don't know, people have this concept that just because you don't get their IV, that you're incompetent and you don't know
Yeah.
how to stick, right? They have
Yeah.
this concept in their mind. But if one person tried it, then maybe. So I walk into the room and she looks at me and she says, "You only get one stick."
Ooh.
And this is what I said to her. I said, "That nurse came and got me because I know how to stick." I said, "That's number one." I said, "Now you're going to get three nurses whenever you say comments like that." I said, "The first nurse is going to be your novice nurse. That's going to be your new nurse. Your new nurse is going to get intimidated by what you said." I said, "And they're going to miss." I
Yep.
said, "And then you're going to get the seasoned nurse who is ratchet." I
Yeah.
said, "You're going to miss on purpose." I
Yeah.
said, "But luckily for you, you got
Yeah.
the
You got me.
seasoned nurse." Okay. I said, so when I stick you, I'm going to try to get it. I said, "But I may not stick you and get it on the first try."
That's
I
right.
said, "But if I don't get it on the first try, you know what? You still in SVT. If you continue in that heart rate, you're going to die. So
That's right.
do you want to give me two tries or do you want to give me one try and tell me I need to roll out? You tell me. Because I mean, I
That's
can
right.
roll out right now." And so she said, "You can stick me in Massachusetts wrong too." I said,
Oh,
"Okay."
yeah. Well, look, and sometimes you got to set those boundaries because I understand that people in pain may have some situations where they can't, when you're in pain, this is why I work on what I work on too, because when you're in pain, your emotions are running rampant, right? You don't have total control over your mind or your body, honestly. And so, yeah, so people say some stuff, but it's critically important to let these people who have done all of this training and work and have experience do what they can do for you,
Mhm.
and they have bad days too. The other thing is y'all could have a bad day and you're not even allowed to have it, kind of.
Right, for sure, for
You
sure.
can't hide. Patient, you need to have to still attend to the patient. So yeah. Yeah. Anyhow, I appreciate, all of the healthcare community, but y'all have a different level of engagement with patients that not everybody appreciates. And these people are dedicated to their patients. That's all I know.
All right, I love it. So now, what are you reading now? What book are you reading?
Girl, I just picked up well, okay, so I'm writing. I don't read for fun anymore. I read for work and things. I used to. Wear glasses because I used to read for fun as a child, but I don't anymore. But I just picked up a book, and I cannot even remember the author's name. But it's called Blueprint for Your Nonfiction Book, and so that's what I'm reading. But it is useful, when you're working on all these things. It's helpful to find the tools, and you get advice from anywhere you can. It's not that interesting though, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not tied to an uninteresting book. So, who is a leader, living or dead, that you would like to have a conversation with?
Ooh, wow. That's a good one. Yeah, there's so many people that I would love to have a conversation with. Honestly, well, I know this is going to be totally, well, honestly, Mrs. Obama is one of the people. It sounds trite, because I'm sure many people do, but I just admire how she's navigated that space, that highly visible space. I mean, we as women struggle in these highly visible spaces because there's an aspect of which we are considered it is considered the norm to comment on things that really have nothing to do with the content of our character or the work we're doing. But people want to talk about how your clothes look, how your hair, all of the stuff
Exactly.
that men do not have to normally deal with. And she navigated that space. So I'm always learning lessons from folks, but she's somebody who navigated that high visibility space with such grace and dignity that I just hope I can find some semblance of that in my own world.
Yeah, because they called her angry black woman. And I was like, what?
Yeah, that never came. That never showed anywhere that I saw.
Exactly.
They don't know.
Right. It has been a pleasure talking with you, Miss Thomas. So we know where to find you. Again, I ask that you like, share, and comment on the podcast. Go to YouTube, subscribe, leave us a review, download the podcast. The more downloads we have, the better. We want to get community. And it has been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. And you, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have an amazing rest of your day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Dr. V, so appreciate it.
Thank you.